This is Chapter 2, Section 2, Causation in Science. We've been talking about research methods within the field of sociology and how research is conducted, and we need to discuss causation. Causation is the belief that events occur in predictable ways and that one event leads to another. So if you give a toddler an ice cream cone and they start to eat the ice cream cone, and the ice cream cone the ice cream then falls off of the cone, you expect that child's clothes are probably going to get messy. So that is causation. The ice cream falling caused the stain or the mess on the child's clothing. Now you can have multiple things that lead to an end result, and this is called multiple causation, the belief that an event occurs as a result of several factors working in combination. So let's put this in the context of sports. If you have a football team that scores a touchdown, the person who scored the touchdown typically did not do that completely on their own. First, a quarterback probably threw the ball to them. They had to catch the ball, so that might be one of the factors. And then they had to turn around and successfully maybe dive a tackle or evade a tackle, or maybe somebody on their team made a nice tackle to prevent somebody from running into the person who had the ball, and eventually they made their way down the field to score that touchdown. But all of those other factors, the factors of what their teammates were doing, the ability to catch the ball, things like that, those are multiple factors that led to this event, and those would be considered multiple causation. So what variables cause crime in a community? So think for a second to yourself about what things within a community might cause crime. Chances are that you did not just think of one thing, that maybe you thought of a couple things. So here are some things that can lead to crime within a community. And these are not all of the things, and they are not mutually exclusive, so it's not just one of these things. It might be a combination of one or two of these things. It could be a combination of all four of these things. But chances are that that crime was not caused by simply just one thing. So it could be a matter of peer pressure, drug use, chronic poverty, poor parenting, etc. The list could continue on. So now when you talk about what is a variable is a characteristic that is subject to change. And we're going to talk about the difference between quantitative and qualitative and independent versus dependent. So here you have a turtle, and maybe your experiment is if a turtle sits in front of a lamp for 4 hours a day, they will grow larger. Okay, so there are many factors that could go into your turtle growing. Your light would not change. Your light would be on for those 4 hours. That would be your independent variable because it doesn't change. The thing that you're looking for change in is the turtle. The turtle depends on the light. So, quantitative variables, these are characteristics that can be measured numerically. Example, literacy rates, income, weight, height, all of those things can be measured, and that's quantitative. Qualitative, on the other hand, is a characteristic that is defined by its presence or absence in a category, either or, yes and no, married, unmarried, band members or not, seniors or not. These are not things that can be measured with numbers. These are characteristics that are either present or absent within a category. So an independent variable is a characteristic that causes something else to occur. So, for example, you have an independent variable here would be the sleeping, and the dependent would be the score. The score is determined by the sleeping. So whichever thing is affecting the outcome is your independent variable. Okay, just like the lamp was in the previous example with the turtle. And then you see, how does that change? The thing that changes is your dependent variable. So a characteristic that reflects a change, like I was just saying, is your dependent variable. It depends on this. Your grade depends on how much sleep you get, or your grade depends on how much time you devote to studying. The effect of time spent studying on grades. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. Time studying is your independent variable, so that could be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. The more time that you spend studying, the more time you spend studying, hopefully would improve your grade. Okay, so that would be your dependent variable, the thing that you're looking at changing. There are also things called intervening variables. These are variables that change the relationship between an independent and a dependent variable. So the example here is income as your independent variable, hunger as your dependent variable, but also government programs. So if you're looking at, if somebody's income is low, maybe their hunger rates are high. But government can intervene and assist those people, which then would kind of change the outcome of how income affects hunger. And we'll look at more examples of that later.